Well, the veterans leading the charge against the closure of 8 service centers today have left Ottawa and returned home for their last gasp stand. However, the offices dedicated to helping veterans with their paperwork and programs started closing an hour ago and will be all shuttered by the end of the day. We'll have a veteran on in minutes, but first we're joined by Parm Gill. He is the parliamentary secretary on what was supposed to be a sleepy file. He faced a barrage of questions in the House of Commons today. He joins us live. Welcome to the show. I think you're the first time. All right, bottom line here, is there any way the government of Canada, the Conservative Party, is going to change its mind on closing these service centres?
Well, Don, I can assure you that the government of Canada is committed to providing the veterans with the services and the benefits that they truly deserve. As I mentioned in the House, we've now added over 600 points of service across Canada. There were many, many cities and towns in this country that had no district office. They had no service. Now they will be able to receive the service through Service Canada offices. And also what we're doing in a lot of the cases where we're merging the 8 offices with Service Canada locations, they happen to be out of the 8, 5 of them are in the same building. So we're also sending a fully trained Veterans Affairs Canada employee, a staff member, to work with Service Canada staff to make sure there are no hiccups, make sure that the veterans in those areas see a familiar face when they arrive to get the help that they need. And on top of that, I also like to point out the fact that if a veteran is seriously injured, they're unable to travel, we will send a trained, registered nurse or a case manager in the comfort of their home to visit them to provide them the necessary services that the veterans need.
So you can guarantee to me and Mr. Clark, who's coming up in a moment, that he's going to receive the same or even a better level of service under the new system. He's not going to just get a toll-free number handed to him. He's going to get someone with a pulse that's going to help him at every point of service center.
Absolutely. That will be there. There will also be the 1-800 number that you mentioned that's available 24 hours for all veterans. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that the appropriate necessary services are provided to veterans. And just to go above and beyond, just to let you know the kind of benefits that the Veterans Affairs of Canada we provide. If a veteran's needs, we cut their lawn, we shovel their snow, we clean their homes, we make sure that they receive prepared meals, or in some cases even prepare meals in their homes. These are all of the services that our government initiatives that we have brought forward. And since taking office, since 2006, our government has invested almost $5 billion in additional new funding. I'm not saying total funding.
They got a lot more vets coming in too, don't forget.
Additional funding. Yeah. And believe me, we're committed. The government is committed to make sure that our veterans are looked after.
What's your theory then why so many veterans are upset with this? If you're saying that everything's going to be better, if as good or better, why are they complaining?
Well, I'm sorry to say, Don, but part of the reason, I must say, is PSAC. It's some of
Public Service Alliance of Canada.
Absolutely, PSAC and the unions, for their own motives, for their own good. It's extremely disappointing that they're using veterans to push their agenda. Extremely unfortunate. And I speak to veterans, and I know Minister of Veterans Affairs and other of my colleagues do all over the country all the time, and we speak to them. For the most part, veterans are extremely happy. We get lots of emails, we get lots of phone calls saying, hey, you guys are doing a wonderful job, keep up the good work. And even, today, as I finished question period, I received a bunch of emails afterwards saying, keep up the good work. And I'm not sure why we read all of these negative stories, but I can tell you from my perspective, we are getting a wonderful service from Veterans Affairs Canada, and thank you.
You think they're just being used as pawns?
That's the way it seems. To me, I can assure you, even the other day, with all due respect, when the veterans arrived from all over the country here in Ottawa to speak to the minister, they were apparently paid for, flown in by PSAC. That's not very kosher.
The minister certainly needs better bedside manners, though. I mean, you got to admit that was a fairly hostile encounter.
Well, Don, sometimes you are under a lot of pressure. When you are a cabinet minister, I know Minister Fantino was attending a very important cabinet meeting in which, and I can tell you that he was championing veterans' issues in that meeting. And of course, he happened to be a bit late, and sometimes you are under stress, but that's not to say that Minister does not regret that encounter that he had, and he has apologized to veterans.
All right, Parm Gill, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.